Good morning. Whoever you are, wherever in the world you are, whomever you love, whatever you are seeking today, please know that for this hour, you are part of this congregation and you are welcome here. Welcome to all of you hardy seekers of truth and meaning who brave the weather to be with us today, and welcome also to those of you who are joining us on Zoom. I am Carol Robison. My pronouns are she and her. I'm pleased to serve today as Reverend Dara's worship associate. We gratefully acknowledge the Wampanoag people on whose ancestral homeland, Patuxet, we gather today. We commit to support and honor their history and culture. Immediately following the service, we invite you all to join us at coffee hour for refreshments and conversation. Coffee hour takes place in the Assembly Hall. Reach through the door to my left. The easiest thing is just to follow the crowd as it leaves after the postlude. Once you get there, if you are new or even new-ish, please take a red mug so members of the congregation can spot you to offer you a warm First Parish greeting. Coffee hour is very much an extension of our worship service today, and we encourage you to come join us if you can. And now for a few announcements. I think everything that I was going to mention is included in the handout that you have in your order of service today. First up, today is Craft Day with Regina Mortland and Sally DeLisa in the art room after church at 11:15. That looks like that's going to be a lot of fun, and it was postponed last week because of the weather, so please be sure to support Regina and Sally. There's always something going on at the social justice table. Today, it's Trans Youth Healthcare. Check in to see what you can do to support that cause. Today, also in the evening, we have dinner church scheduled. There's some concern about weather and other issues, so it's, as far as we know at the moment, it's going forward. It's a lot of work for the people who are putting it on, so we hope that you will come. And if for some reason it turns out that that's not going to work out today, keep an eye on your email for an announcement. And I think that's everything I have today. All right, that is my part.
Good morning, everyone. It's so good to be back in Massachusetts and to see all of you. My name is Dara Bryans, and I'm the minister here at First Parish in Duxbury, and I use she, her pronouns. I want to encourage y'all to stop by that social action table, because if you haven't been paying attention, a bill has been proposed which would criminalize anyone offering, aiding, and helping a trans youth get access to gender-affirming care. And we are trying to encourage all of our congresspersons to not support this bill. That was a little aside. I went off script. Sorry, everybody. Our opening words this morning, they come from Reverend Michelle LaGrave, who calls herself a white, cis, queer, disabled UU minister. May your call be awakened. We come to religious community from many paths and diverse needs. If you have come here seeking comfort, may your pain be soothed. If you've come here looking for answers, may you find new questions. If you've come here seeking purpose, may your call be awakened. If you've come here hoping to build a new way, May that path be open to you. Welcome. Let us worship together. Our opening hymn this morning is Peace Like a River, written by Reverend Marvin Frey, a 20th century Assemblies of God minister and composer who wrote about 2,000 songs for revivals. This is a rocking song. You got to sing it with heart and soul, so I invite you to rise in body or spirit and join in singing the first 3 verses of Peace Like a River. Lyrics are on the screen and at 100 in gray hymnals. I would like to invite our ushers up, please, Doug and Lois, to lead us in lighting our chalice and in our doxology.
Let this flame be to us a symbol of the wholeness we seek.
Its brightness is selling gloom, lighting a path to faith and hope.
Its glow reminding us of the sacred bonds that link us to all living things.
Its radiance on us casts light of freedom, justice, and peace upon all the world.
Lyrics are on the screen and at 118.
This little light of mine.
week, we lift up the joys and concerns we carry with us into the sanctuary, recognizing that a joy shared in loving community is joy amplified, and in sharing our concerns with one another, we lay these burdens down to be held, even if only for a moment, in this community. The first Sunday of each month, we invite folks in the congregation to come up to share a joy, concern, or a care for our world. When you come up, please line up along the aisle to my left, over by Town Hall. When it is your turn, you are invited to light a candle for each joy and concern or care for the world you will be sharing. After lighting your candle over here, please use the microphone where I am right now at the lectern. Remember to share your name and, if you would like, your pronouns. If you are joining online, please use the hand raise function or a message in the chat that you have a joy or concern to share. Our amazing tech person, Emma, will unmute you at the appropriate time so that you can share your joy or concern with the conversation. We will invite our online congregation to share once those of you who are here have finished.
Hi, I'm Jim Hamilton. My pronouns are he, him. I have an amazing teacher, an artist named Kay Woodman Maynard, who lives in St. Paul and who has started a coalition of artists and cartoonists to create artwork, cartoons, denouncing the ICE brutality in Minnesota and throughout the country. So she's done some amazing work, and that movement is really getting some nice momentum.
Good morning, my name is Lynn Barples, and I have a special joy. Last night's black tie bingo at the center at Duxbury raised over tens of thousands of dollars, brought our community together from high schoolers to senior citizens, and it all benefits the Duxbury Interfaith Council's Fuel Assistance Fund. And as a P.S., one of our congregants who won the lottery tree raffle donated the entire prize to the Council on Aging.
That's a hard one to follow. Lois Wood, I use she, her pronouns. I am just devastated by the killings in Minneapolis. I am devastated by the bulldozing of the East Wing. I'm just devastated by it all. And I can't believe our country's come to this. And my dad was a military guy, and he would just be horrified. And I'm glad he's not here to see this. But I have a great church family. I have great friends. I have a wonderful husband and a cozy house and a wonderful dog, and I'm just going to have to hang on to those things.
Good morning, Jean Penben, she, her. Ditto, all about the disasters. But I have two joys. One of them isn't going to sound like a joy, but it was a joy. My cousin Peter Matervich, who served in Vietnam and came back wrecked, committed suicide, and his son found him in December. And we all thought it was just going to be the world's worst thing. And Peter said he didn't want people to come to the service. Well, the entire town of Lenox crashed that service. And his children were so surrounded by love. It was simply astonishing. So it does turn out to be a joy that this man's life was so embraced by the whole town. And the second is that against all odds, my husband and I, on the 29th of January, celebrated our 50th wedding anniversary. Yes. We are planning to live happily ever after.
I'm Mary Flanagan. My pronouns are she, her. And I've lit a candle of concern for all our transgender friends, neighbors, and loved ones that are currently under attack by our government. It's inexplicable, and transgender rights are human rights.
I'm David Murphy. He and his and him are my pronouns. I have concerns and a joy. My concerns are the whole situation with, I can't even talk about it, the whole situation with ICE and our government and the killings and the brutality. And it just got me so angry that I was so joyful I was able to go and protest yesterday at the State House, and that felt wonderful. Thank you.
I'm Karen Sankey, she, her, and I'm lighting a candle for my son Gregory, who lives in California and is alcoholic and doesn't want to be. He wants to live a sober life, and he's really struggling with it.
Michael Gardner, he, him. So 60 years ago this Friday, my wife and I had our first date. And it was like just about the most amazing, wonderful moment in my life. And I'm just so grateful that we have been blessed for so long. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Michael Haley. I lit a candle of concern because we lost the family pet this weekend. It was our hermit crab named Pinky, and it just caused a lot of sorrow over the weekend, especially for the little ones. But we're remembering her and all the joy she brought us.
My name is Ellen Noddle, and it's she, her. And I have a concern, a big concern. Beatrice Basico, my Haitian friend, her temporary work status ends on Tuesday. She could be grabbed at any time. We got together and we have signed some papers that her son will be taken care of if she's taken, and that's a joy, but it's just unbelievable what's going on. It's just... But I have a candle for joy, and Carl Kuntz yesterday dug me out. I was iced in when I took Beatrice to work, and it took us 2 hours, but he and some other people got me out, and that was fantastic.
Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Bob Hughes, and my pronoun is everybody. I'm here basically just to repeat what everybody else is saying about the madness that's going on in this country and the tearing down of the East Wing, and it's just such a mind blower that this is going on. That's it. Thank you.
Emma, do we have anyone online that would like to speak? No? Okay. We light a final candle for all the joys, concerns, and cares for our world, deeply felt but not yet spoken.
I'd like just to take a moment and sit in the silence of gratitude for all of the joys and the fears and the sorrows that have been shared in the sanctuary this morning. Losses of beloved pets, losses of brothers, joy that community rallies and holds and loves us. Let's just take a moment to breathe in the gratitude for community and for love. And in a week that has seen too much violence and despair, I invite you now to just lay your burdens down, even if only for a moment. I invite you to just be here now, fully present, as we engage in our weekly ritual of prayer and meditation. You are welcome to bring your own understanding of what prayer is and what the prayer practice can be. All are welcome here in the fullness of our belief and in our unbelief. Please join me in the spirit of prayer. Spirit of healing and of wholeness. It's so hard to know how to begin a prayer in a week that has been truly difficult and overwhelming. So we begin by offering up our despair to the universe. We pray for Alex Petty, murdered by ICE agents a week ago on Saturday. We pray for our world that no longer has his generous spirit, his warrior heart that sought to protect a woman even as he was being assaulted. And we pray for Alex's family and friends who are now learning how to go on in a world without him. And we lift up prayers of courage and strength and resolve for our legislators and our judges, that they may begin to de-escalate the assault on all who live in our nation, immigrant and citizen alike. May they come to center love and hold sacred the worth and dignity of every human being. Spirit of hope and of healing. In the midst of our worry and despair, there is always hope. We lift our prayers of gratitude for neighbors who are showing up for their black and brown neighbors, bringing groceries and caring for children and bearing witness. We are grateful for the love that they are pouring out into our troubled world. May we be inspired by their courage and radical love to do and to be likewise. May we find ways to pour our love out into a world where we are, knowing that love is the balm that can heal the wounds of hatred and bigotry. Blessed be and Amen will be held in a moment of silence.
Our reading this morning, something else?
There is
Okay,
an
sorry.
audible that I forgot to tell Carol about. I'm sorry. We're going to have a gratitude testimonial. Sorry, Carol, I forgot to tell you. In the spirit of January, when we had Mary and Rudy do their gratitude testimonial, we had one planned during the month that couldn't happen. So I'd like to invite Ginny Marconi up now to share her testimony of gratitude.
Good morning. My name is Ginny Dukes Marconi, and my pronouns are she and her. It is my pleasure to have the chance to speak this morning about my gratitude for the inspiring and loving community that is First Parish Church. In the way of background, I spent 27 years as a public school teacher and administrator in Plymouth, mostly at the middle school level. There, I worked with an extraordinary staff who always kept kids at the center. They were fueled by love in the broadest sense, and their tools were good pedagogy, respect for the needs of each individual child and family, and a shared sense of purpose. Because of the nature of the work and the colleagues who inspired me, my job and my service were one and the same. The people in that building were both my professional and my spiritual community. And then I retired, and the world went into lockdown. When it was over, I emerged from isolation, disoriented and despondent. While I still found fulfillment in helping my family, I knew something important was missing. Now, I have a habit of trying to organize my way out of problems, and so I made a list of new activities I would try to see if anything filled this undefined void. Number 3 on the list was to visit the Unitarian Church. Being prone to social anxiety, I had to force myself through the doors on that first Sunday. I was immediately greeted by someone, I think it was Jim Hamilton, and though I admit to shrinking from being seen, it did help me make the choice to return the next Sunday. Then Joyce Sawyer found me and steered me to the Thursday morning book club. Mustering more courage, I drove to the church that Thursday morning and met Meredith Lehman in the parking lot. She guided me in and introduced me to the group. It was after the book discussion that the conversation became truly illuminating. Meredith talked about helping the Afghan family learn English. Nancy Langren mentioned some activities the local Democratic Party were engaged in. Marilyn Chrisman talked about Box Project, and there were updates about various church members facing challenges. I thought to myself, these people walk the walk. So I kept coming back. It seemed like every week there was a new invitation to walk the walk with you. Box Project, petitions for Native Americans, volunteering at the fairs, writing Get Out the Vote postcards, and pro-democracy protests, just to name a few, and glory be, share the plate. What an ingenious way to support a myriad of deserving programs. You make service accessible. And it didn't stop there. Besides reactivating my service muscles, I marveled at the strong network of personal support. I recall a moment when I was in the parlor early on, and a woman I didn't know at the time came in appearing upset. A group of women circled her almost silently, with arms and love as I watched. I overheard the whisper, hospice, and understood the literal and figurative circling I was witnessing. I have seen this repeated time and time again and benefited from it personally, including during Joys and Concerns and the 2 small groups to which I have the honor to belong. What am I most grateful for here at First Parish? It's the magical synergy of love, energy, service, inspiration, and support that fills the void I experienced after retiring. I never had to try number 4 on the list because, once again, I have a spiritual home. Thank you and bless you all.
Our reading this morning is The Heart of Our Faith, a UU Theology of Gratitude by UU Minister Reverend Galen Gingerich. What should be the defining religious discipline for UUs? While obedience, love, and even submission each play a role in the life of faith, my current conviction that our defining discipline should be gratitude. Why gratitude? 2 dimensions of gratitude make it fitting as our defining religious practice. One has to do with a discipline of gratitude, and the other has to do with an ethic of gratitude. The discipline of gratitude reminds us of how utterly dependent we are on the people and world around us for everything that matters. From this flows an ethic of gratitude that obligates us to create a future that justifies an increasing sense of gratitude for the human family as a whole. The ethic of gratitude demands that we nurture the world that nurtures us in return. It is our duty to foster the kind of environment that we want to become. Why gratitude? It has to do with the role of religion and the nature of the universe. The role of religion, in my view, is to help us find our place as human beings within this universe we call home. You may recall that the word religion does not mean to liberate or set free, but rather to bind together. Religion unites the purpose of our lives as human beings with the purpose that animates the universe. Religion unites the meaning of our lives as human beings with the meaning that pervades the universe. Religion unites the spirit of humanity with the spirit that keeps the stars shining, the planet spinning, and the flowers blooming in springtime. I believe that gratitude is the appropriate religious response to the nature of the universe. What defines us as human beings is the collection of relationships we represent that we are made up of. This principle applies to everything. Nothing, not people, not rocks, not galaxies, is what it is in isolation. The first principle of the universe is not independence, but its opposite, dependence. Everything that exists is made up of constituent parts that are borrowed from, shared with, and related to others outside it. In every respect, we are utterly dependent. If the first principle of existence is utter dependence, then the deadliest of all sins is the effort to negate or disregard that principle through the myth of self-sufficiency. In this state of sin, salvation comes through gratitude. It is the means by which we remember both our identity and our duty. As we glimpse our dependence upon other people and things, we also glimpse our duty to them. This sense of obligation leads to an ethic of gratitude, which takes our experience of transcendence in the present and works for a future in which all relationships among humans, as well as between humans and the physical world, are fair, constructive, and beautiful. Put another way, the discipline of gratitude connects the present with the past, while the ethic of gratitude connects the present with the future. Here ends our reading.
This is the time in our service when we receive the morning's offering. Like our spiritual ancestors before us, who built and sustained this church, our gifts go to support the life and work of this congregation. I invite you to give as generously as you are able. May the ushers please come forward.
We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now, it is time now that we cry. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive in this great turning. We shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning, we shall learn to lead in love. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now, it is time now that we cry. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and
So this morning, you all are getting me jet-lagged, underslept, overfull, overloaded with new learning, and with a heart cracked wide open with tenderness and with gratitude. These past 9 days that began a week ago Friday with a gathering of Boston area clergy who all gathered in support and solidarity with the nearly 800 clergy that gathered from across the country in Minneapolis. They gathered for a day of nonviolent resistance learning. They gathered to build relationships, and then the next day they went out to bear witness to what was happening in that city. And so I gathered with clergy in Boston to show solidarity and to go to the State House and ask our governor to please stand up against ICE. And then on Sunday, during the biggest snowstorm to hit the United States since what I heard was since weather was being recorded, it was tracked as spanning from Texas to New England. And I flew to San Francisco on my way to Albuquerque on one of the last planes to leave Logan before the flights were canceled that day. Arriving on Monday, already jet-lagged and tired after 24 hours of travel, I met up with colleagues from all across the country for a week of learning, of worship and collegiality. And Monday night, my poor, tired body, my lagging spirits, my introvert heart were all whispering to me, "Dara, this was a mistake." I looked at the schedule, daily worship, 9 a.m., 6 hours of class time, community building sessions, meals squeezed in where we could find them, and it all just made me feel so weary. But on Tuesday morning, during the 9 a.m. worship service, I sat in a room with hundreds of other UU clergy, and we joined together in singing and in taking in the most amazing sermon that I have ever been part of listening to. And well, on that day, like the Grinch, my heart and my spirit grew 10 times that day. And in these 9 days, I have sloughed off my defenses, and I feel as if I'm standing before you with my pink and tender new skin showing through and bared to the world. And I am here now today, filled with gratitude before you all. I have profound gratitude for all my clergy colleagues who are, as Jenny said, walking the walk. The clergy who showed up in Minneapolis, the clergy across the country who are opening the doors of their buildings to unhoused folks, offering shelter and warmth in the extreme winter cold. Churches who are using their buildings to provide meeting space for community organizers and mutual aid groups supporting their immigrant neighbors. So much gratitude for the music directors leading songs for the folks engaged in nonviolent resistance in sub-zero temperatures. The discipline of gratitude reminds us how utterly dependent we are on the people and the world around us for everything that matters. I am grateful for the folks in Minneapolis who are picking up groceries and ferrying children for their immigrant neighbors and people of color who are too afraid to leave their homes. These besieged folks who are truly, utterly dependent on the grace and care of their neighbors for their very survival. And as I sat in that worship service last Tuesday, My heart was cracked open with love for all of us, living as if we had a beautiful world of dependence, of reciprocity, and mutual care. Galen Gungrich calls gratitude the hallmark of our UU theology, gratitude that sees us as mutually dependent, interdependent, and inextricably connected to all other living beings. He says, an ethic of gratitude obligates us to create a future that justifies an increasing sense of gratitude from the human family as a whole. The ethic of gratitude demands that we nurture the world that nurtures us in return. It is our duty to foster the kind of environment that we want to take in and therefore become. He calls us to a duty, and not in the far distant future when conditions are perfect, but in the here and now. And I wonder, what kind of world does that gratitude obligate me to build? What if we moved forward as if that world already exists? What if we did as the people in Minneapolis are doing right now, who are refusing to belong to a city, belong to a community, belong to a state, to a nation that turns its backs on those who are being targeted by ICE, who refuse to turn away from and remain silent about the violence and oppression. Instead, they are living as if they belong and live in beloved community today and here and now. They are nurturing a world in which neighbor cares for neighbor, in a world in which no person is illegal, where everyone deserves to live in safety and security with sufficient food and heat. I want to live in this world. I want to belong to the community of people who are building this world, even when that future of mutual love and care, of justice and compassion from our government seems impossible. Because it is exactly during these troubled times, these difficult times, when our Unitarian Universalist faith and with our theology of gratitude, it is in this time that we are called to this extravagant life, this giving life, this life filled with love and of generosity. Because in the words of the singer, songwriter, and prophet Tracy Chapman, if not now, when? If not today, then why make your promises? A love declared for days to come is as good as none. Promises of a future kingdom, of solidarity, of action, and care in the future are meaningless right now to those who are suffering. Our world, our neighbors, our heart, and our spirits need us to build this future world in the here and now. And I'm going to tell you that we have to do it without the blueprints, without the experts to come and tell us what to do, without the right tools, the right conditions, without knowing the outcome or how we get there, because gratitude and our abundant love call us to do that work. May it be so. I invite you now to rise in body or in spirit and join me in singing our closing hymn, Though I May Speak with Bravest Fire. The lyrics are on the screen and at number 34 in our gray hymnals. Doug and Lois come up to lead us in our chalice extinguishing. These words, which were written by UU minister Reverend Elizabeth Sally Jones.
We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
You may be seated. Our benediction this morning was written by UU minister Reverend Rebecca Savage. Our calling in the world. We have come to the end of our service, but not the calling in the world. We close our time together with the humble reminder that justice and equity are our spiritual practices to embrace each and every day. We are blessed to be the embodiment of what is possible when justice and equity ground us in all that we do. May we go forth with the light of our chalice and the warmth in our hearts until we are together again. Our service begins when our service ends. Go in peace.